Going into the season, I think it's safe to say that a lot of rookies that were becoming sophomores had a lot of expectations, and a lot of them did meet some of those expectations. I mean, you have Jason Tatum, who became a more consistent scoring option, even though some people could say he's not as great as he was last season, which I just honestly don't agree with. And you have other players such as Ben Simmons, who a lot of people were saying if he can get a jump shot this season or show flashes of a jump shot, that will definitely help the 76ers going forward. And you also had a player like De'Aaron Fox, who is currently living up to the expectations, as his three-point shot looks like one day it could become elite, as he's shooting nearly 40% from three. So that leads to Donovan Mitchell, because I think a lot of people had numerous expectations for Donovan Mitchell going into this season, as the Utah Jazz last year definitely exceeded expectations, and a lot of people thought that team was not going to make the playoffs. But not only did they make the playoffs and nearly win 50 games while getting the 5th seed in the Western Conference, they upset the Oklahoma City Thunder in 6 games and was able to advance to the second round of the playoffs. And a lot of people looked at what Donovan Mitchell did in his rookie year, putting up 20 points, 4 assists, and 4 rebounds, putting up okay shooting splits, especially for a rookie, and him being not even a top 10 lottery pick. A lot of people said, dang, he really exceeded our expectations, so let's put higher expectations for him next season. So what's to say that Donovan Mitchell could not lead this Utah Jazz team to even a top 3 seed in the Western Conference? Yes, a lot of people thought that was a possibility, myself included, but that has not been the case for the Utah Jazz, and Donovan Mitchell this season has not really lived up to the expectations. Now sure, there are other players on the Utah Jazz that are not really making it easier for him, primarily Ricky Rubio, but at the end of the day, Donovan Mitchell this season has just not been the player that I think a lot of us thought he would be. As this season, yes, he is averaging 21 points and 2 steals and 3 assists and 3 rebounds, which is basically the same as last year, but his shooting splits have become atrocious, as he is shooting 41% from the field, below 30% from 3, and 81% from the free throw line, which is basically the same as last year, but the 3-point percentage and field goal percentage, that's just not going to cut it. He has to be a more efficient scorer. And from 3 last year, he attempted 7 3-pointers a game and shot 34%. And I know 34% isn't the prettiest 3-point percentage, it's not even league average, but when you consider the type of 3-point shots he was taking, a lot of contested ones, and he did shot chuck, I will give you that, he did shot chuck a lot of threes, you kind of have to look at his 3-point percentage and say, okay, it's acceptable, especially from a rookie. And when you're winning, you can take any type of field goal percentage that you get, especially if he's the best player on that team. And he was also playing both sides of the ball. Now defensively, I don't really think Donovan Mitchell has slipped too bad, as I think defensively he has definitely stayed relatively the same, and you could argue he's gotten a little better, especially on that perimeter. But I definitely see that when it comes to his offensive game, I don't know if it's because he's the number 1 option on the team, but Donovan Mitchell has to figure out how to react to the defense, especially in double teams. I mean, this is a guy who sometimes just turns the ball over because he doesn't know how to react to the team that is defending him, or sometimes he just jacks up a shot that he, realistically speaking, does not need to take. And I think Donovan Mitchell, yes, it passed for your rookie year, but now you're going into your sophomore season and your team has aspirations of competing in the difficult Western Conference. And when you have teams that are consistently getting better year after year, it's only going to make it harder for the Utah Jazz to be in contention in the Western Conference. And this is not a team that can really tank, because they're too good to tank, but they're not really good enough to win a championship or even contend for a championship right now. I mean, you have teams like the Denver Nuggets, who have definitely skyrocketed this season. Nikola Jokic has elevated that team, and defensively, they have definitely improved. I got to give a shout out to the Nuggets. I was dead wrong on them. You also even have other teams that are young and are getting better year by year by year. Teams like the Sacramento Kings with the improvement of De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield. And also shout out to Willie Cauley-Stein, he has been balling as well. You also have the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic. How long is it going to take before he can lead that team to the playoffs? Because I just personally don't think they're going to make the playoffs this season. I'm sorry, I'm just saying. And then you also have the Los Angeles Clippers, Who knows what they're going to do in the offseason? And Tobias Harris has been killing it this season. Shout out to that man Tobias. So when it comes to this Utah Jazz roster, they need Donovan Mitchell to step up, and he needs to react better to these defenses. Because in the month of December, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Donovan Mitchell, I'm just going to keep it real, he's been playing like a scrub, because in the 9 games so far in December, yes, he's averaged 19 points, but he has shot horrible. I mean, I'm talking shooting splits that are below 37% from the field, 31% from 3, and also when it comes to his ball handling and his distribution and passing, this team has definitely digressed. This is a team that was heavily based on ball movement last year. I mean, we had Joe Ingles even averaging 4 assists and even 5 assists at certain points and periods in the season. But Donovan Mitchell, when it comes to his passing out of double teams or his reaction to defenses, he's got to learn that he can pass the ball. I definitely think at times he can be very selfish, and yes, he is a young player, but when you have other players who have gotten it together and how to react to defenses when they double them, or just how to pass the ball better, Donovan Mitchell has got to become a better passer of the ball. And I understand that as a scorer, he has definitely shown flashes of being great, but you have to be more than just a scorer on offense. Look at Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and D Wade. Those are players that, yes, they can go out there on any given night and give you 25 to 30 points a game, but they can also give you around 5 rebounds. Hell, they can also throw in around 4 to 6 assists. Donovan Mitchell has to be able to do more than just score on the offensive side of the ball. And if he cannot learn how to do that, this Utah Jazz team is going to continue struggling, not only this season, but in the other years to come. And what's even worse about this Utah Jazz team is that D. Mitch is the player that they have chosen to be the franchise guy, or at least that's what I'm assuming, because it doesn't really look like they're going to make any trades for any superstars or pick up any superstars in the offseason. So D. Mitch is definitely their guy going forward as the face of the franchise. And if that is the case, you have a lot of players around him that are not really superstars. They're really just glorified role players. Players such as Ricky Rubio, Joe Ingles, Rudy Gobert, Derek Favors. But Donovan Mitchell, a lot of the Utah Jazz's future success is definitely based on what you do and how you improve as a player. And when it comes to his improvement, I'm sorry, I've seen a lack of that this season, and dare I say, he's gotten a little bit worse this season. So Donovan Mitchell has definitely got to step up, and when you consider what the Utah Jazz are in the Western Conference, it's only a matter of time before they end up in no man's land if Donovan Mitchell doesn't improve and doesn't show signs of leading this team into contention in the Western Conference. So you guys in the comment section, let me know what you think about this video. Also subscribe if you're new to the channel. Make sure you guys follow me on social media. Those links are down below, especially on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you do that, and also subscribe to my second channel. Link is down below in the description. Y'all have a great day. I am out. Peace.